It's 2025 people and you still don't know how to make music like Sabrina Carpenter? That is outrageous.
That's outrageous.
But wait, who the fuck is Sabrina Carpenter?
Who the fuck is Candy?
Sabrina Carpenter is an American singer and actress. She first gained prominence starring on the Disney Channel series Girls Meets Disney. Of course she's from Disney. At this point everyone is from Disney.
Is Sabrina Carpenter singer?
The fuck? How damn bad are you guys? And what the hell is up with this creep? Wait a second. I know this girl. She hands out handcuffs at concerts. I always thought she was some weirdo arresting people. Okay, so recently she released her album Man's Best Friend. The whole album is produced by Jack Antonoff and has modern, horny pop vibes and with a hint of disco here and there. And this song in particular, which is called Tears, has been all over my feed. I'll teach you guys how to make something along the lines of it, so turn up your horny meter cause we're getting into it. Here's how the final result is gonna sound like.
To do anything, I'm like, oh my god, I for you.
Also, I'm gonna give away all the stems for free, so make sure you watch till the end of the video. Okay, let's get into the project file. Okay, first we're starting with that pop chord progression. Here's how the chord sounds like. Okay, I'm using G minor, A minor and D sharp minor. For the synth, I'm using June 6V from Arturia. It's a great synth. I use it almost for everything. Additionally, I'm not routing this to any mixer channel since I like the heaviness in this. Okay, I'm using this string on top of those chords. Okay, for this I'm using one of the violins from BBC Orchestra and it sounds amazing. It's also free, so you guys can download it. Now let's move on to the guitars. So guitar sounds like... For the guitars, I'm using Ample Guitar SC and I'm using one of the presets from it, which is Funk 65 one. Make sure you turn off the reverb and delay effect because we are going to add it afterwards. Okay, one of the most important things to keep in mind while programming real guitars that you must change the velocity of every note so it feels more real. Also try to strum the notes like this way. Okay, first I'm using EQ in the effects. I'm boosting the high end and I'm cutting some of the low mids here to tone down that muddiness. Now next I'm using OTT. It's like one of the go-to producers plugin. You know, I'm using this to bring out that sharp high end in the guitars. Then I'm using the built-in chorus plugin from flstudio because it's fucking awesome. Now the mix is set on like around 75-76%. This is how it sounds without chorus. This is how it sounds with chorus. It gives that very R&B-ish vibe which we need in this track. Now next we have phaser. Again, this is a stock FL Studio plugin. It's amazing and I'm using the default preset in this. What phaser is doing that it is sweeping a bell across your frequency range, so it sounds very interesting like this. I can already feel that disco-y vibe. Then we have reverb. I'm using Valhalla Room. It's amazing. Finally, again, I have an EQ to tone down that harsh high end because it was piercing my ears. Now the guitar without any effect sounds like... very boring, right? And now with effects, it sounds like... Now let's move on to one of my favorite part of this song, which are the strings. First string, I'm using this Swamp violin. It's quite nice. Make sure to automate this vibrato. Now all the FXs I'm using in guitars is also being routed to this violin, so they both go very uniformly together. Now let's move on to the bass. Now most of the Sabrina Carpenter's production has a very heavy real acoustic bass. So make sure you put your FXs accordingly. Here I'm using one of my favorite bass plugins, which is Easy Bass, and I'm using this firm distortion preset from it, and the bass sounds like this. Now articulations are very important to give it that human touch and that to generally give an overall soul to the track. Okay, now make sure to play around bass. Don't just use root notes of your chord. No, make it interesting. And again, I'm changing the velocity of every note. For the effects, I want to give it more heaviness. So I'm using a little bit of decapitator and I'm using OTT to bring out that very sharp high end in this again. Now bass along with guitar and strings should sound like this. Now the final step in this is to add some drums. For the drums I'm using Kashmir. For the drums I'm using this kick. Now I'm using this Kashmir snare. I'm layering it with another snare. What I've seen is that Jack Antonoff uses real drums in Sabrina Carpenter's production. Since we don't have a real drummer here, so we're gonna use some plugins. So I'm using Easy Drummer here for percussions, and it sounds like this. And layer it with some rides and hi-hats. All the drums together should sound like. Okay, now listening to a lot of Sabrina Carpenter song, one interesting thing that I found, every production of hers has some sparkly thing on the top, for which I am using this. I'm using this Prophet 5V keyboard from Arturia and this preset called Bird Song. Now the most important thing in Sabrina Carpenter's production is her vocal delivery. How she sings and how she delivers her vocal. Now how a singer delivers her vocal is very important because, you know, people are usually listening for that. Now if you did everything right, your track should sound like.
I'm close to one, offering to do anything. I'm like, oh my god, I did well for you.
Now for the free stems, just subscribe to this channel, DM me on Instagram, I'll send you the stems. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next week.